Last week, the Belize Police Department issued an advisory for the public, especially business owners and security firms, to be on alert. This followed two reports of individuals posing as police officers and gaining access to establishments. One of the reported incidents was made by Ebony Hendy, who was employed at Harpy Security on Antelope Street in Belize City. Hendy recounted the experience.
I was a dispatcher there and I had reported for duty. This is on Tuesday night at 10 o'clock p.m. My supervisor had left and told me he was going to go and drop one of the dispatchers home. And while he left, a person came to the window and he stated that he was the police that he came to check the place, and he had on police uniform and everything. And I thought that he was a police, so I had him enter. When he entered, he went behind the door and he put a knife by my throat and he had his hands around me. And he stated that he has been watching this location for the past couple days, and if I say anything, that he will come for me. He knows my family. He led me to a door where we we have our
Hendy says she believes the perpetrator might have been indeed watching the business because he seemed familiar with the layout of the building.
He led me to a door where we we have our storage. We had the cleaning lady's supplies in there, and he was asking questions about what was in there. All this time, he had his face turned to a side, but I didn't manage to see his face, but he didn't have anything covering his face. And he asked me about the first room where we keep our weapons. I told him I didn't have the key for that room because we're not allowed to go there. And he said I must have the key. And at that time, he was getting arrogant. I thought that he was going to do something to me. And he went back to where his cleaning supplies were, and he informed me to make sure that I don't tell the police because he knows where my family is. And shortly after that, he walked really fast out of the building and he ran. And when he ran, I contacted my supervisor and told him what happened. He said he was on his way. He came. I contacted my boss, sent him a text message. He did not respond. When my supervisor came, he told me that we need to report this to the police. The reason
The police advisory urges the public to seek confirmation by calling 911 or the police precinct in your area. And while Hendy went through a traumatic experience, she told us that that was not the end of it, as after, her boss reviewed the security tapes and fired her.
the reason I didn't call the police was because I was scared for my life. He already threatened me that if I contacted the police, that he would come for me. So we contacted the boss. We called 2 times. The boss didn't answer. On the third time, that's when he contacted us and let us know that we also needed to report it to the police. When I went to talk to the boss, he said he wanted to see me concerning the matter. When I went, he told me he saw the tape and he believes that I was the one that set up the person to come there. So, and he dismissed me as well because of this incident. Yes, I've never seen a person before. Like I told the police, the person seems like they did know the place. They seem very familiarized with the place, but I have never seen that person before.
To us, why her boss accused her of such act.
He said that he believes it because he looked at the tape and I didn't look like anyone that was frightened or scared for the matter, but I'm not a person that shows a lot of emotion. And I was scared, but I tried to be calm during the situation because the person had a knife. I don't want to be screaming and making a lot of noise because it was my life that was at stake there. I don't want back my job. I just want them to know how I feel, and I want people out there to know that what happened because apparently they're not there. It was on the news. They didn't say any names or anything, But I just want people to know what I went through because it could have happened to anyone. Unfortunately, it happened to me.
Hendy says she is now stuck because she has two young children to take care of.